Are you using one of these electric battery-powered lawnmowers and found that it won't turn on? Then you have landed on the right video, because I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot that problem of not starting and when it starts and stops. This unit here happens to be the Greenworks 40V lithium G-Max twin force, meaning that there's two blades. There's blade 1 and blade 2. It has 2 batteries, an emergency shutoff, and the way you start it is up here.
The process to get it to run is to go ahead and press and hold that button down and pull back on the bar.
What you're supposed to do is press this, and while holding it down, pull back on this bar, just like that, and the mower should kick on, and as you can see, nothing's happening. The next obvious thing to check is to make sure that your batteries are powered up, and if we press here, that one is fully green, that one's fully green. I could also go ahead and get a voltmeter and double check for the right voltage, but I have a feeling that this may be actually much simpler than what it is. I'm going to take you through my basic troubleshooting so that you can easily follow at home and fix your own lawnmower. This unit, we will soon find out, won't start, but once we repair that, it then starts and stops. Let's start with the most common failure, the safety. Well, look at that. It's absolutely plugged in. It's the way it needs to be. Doesn't look like there's any issue with it. Let's go ahead and remove it. Well, it's pretty dirty in there. That's yucky. That's pretty dirty in there. I'm going to go ahead and clean it out and see if that helps. I'm using a pick here. This is a Husky pick, and I'm loosening up all this material here that seems to have just mucked up here. And I'm going to start cleaning the inside of this. Now, this is a ground. You don't have any power in here. I highly doubt there's any capacitors that are loaded, so little chance of you getting shocked. I did notice something else. There's tons of material inside here. The other thing I noticed is that these contacts, that's the silver metal that you see here, they're kind of bent far in. So, which probably tells me that this customer may have been pushing down hard, trying to get this thing to connect maybe. All right, now we're gonna run some compressed air or a vacuum. I just happen to have this out here because I was working on something, and let's see what happens. Now what we're gonna do is bend those pins out just a little bit there. As you could see, we want them sticking out just a little bit, just like that one. So we're gonna put our pick in here and pull ever so slightly outward, but don't use a lot of force. You don't want to break those pins. That'll make the job bigger. Make sure those come out just a little bit. And what you want is that they actually stick out just a little bit like that. You want them just a little bit showing from the red plastic. Now we're going to look at this emergency pull connector here, or whatever the official name is for it. And we're going to clean the inside. Look at the gunk that's in there. It doesn't allow you to go all the way in. You can see grass in there. Went ahead and use the pick to clean it all out there. And we ran a little air through there, so it's completely cleaned out from that gunk. The next thing we're going to go ahead and examine is going to be the connectors for the battery. Let's go ahead and see that. And the connectors are showing really well. Wow, we do have a bunch of gunk down there. That's not going to stop the battery from making a connection. So it looks nice and clean. You can see the silver on the connectors. There's no rust. There's no reason for them not to work. That's on one of the banks. Let's look at the other bank. And yep, nice and clean. And this one doesn't have as much gunk in there, but it's still pretty clean in there. I'm going to go ahead and clean this out and then slap the batteries in. All right, let's go ahead and put the first battery in. Click. That one's in. And fully charged. Let's put the second one in. Click. It's in. Fully charged. Close it. Now we're going to open up the emergency pull. Okay, press down. I felt a good click, some good feedback on there. Let that close up. Moment of truth. I'm gonna go ahead and press this guy down just like that, and we heard it start there for a second. It was going. I'm gonna try that real quick again. Well, guys, we got it to turn on. It wasn't doing that before. Let me show you what I found next. You're gonna go ahead and have to remove the top here. And my suggestion is you do it without the batteries in it. I'm willing to take that risk. You do this at your own risk. Let me show you the location of all of the fasteners on the lawnmower housing. The housing is held down by T20 fasteners. You would benefit from buying some long Torx wrenches, perhaps from Husky or Cobalt, so that you keep it cheap. But you will need long ones because the front of the lawnmower, those are deep. Now this shifter is used to raise and lower the lawnmower. It's held down by 2 Phillips screws. You can use a number 2 or a smaller technical Phillips screwdriver. Before you remove those Phillips screws, I highly suggest you put a rag or some tissue around there because the screws have a tendency of falling down into the lawnmower and you will lose them. Next, you have this handle to contend with. It has 2 Phillips that go right in there. And they may break on you. I had one break on me as it was coming out. And you should be able to lift this from the front and then it'll come right out. Okay, now that we have it all open like this, we can do some basic testing. This relay switch device, I don't know much about the electronics on these, so if I call something wrong, I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct me. But this right here, you can go ahead and bypass the switches above simply by pulling right here and see if your lawnmower kicks on. What I did was I took this Husky hook, popped it in here, and then used that as leverage and pulled back. Now you'll notice that it turned on, but the problem was it wasn't turning on before, and here's what I found. At first I thought there may be a dead spot in this motor, because what happens is when you pull this back right here, it sends an electronic signal to the board that you're calling for power, and from there it sends it to this small motor first to turn, and then sends a signal to this motor to turn. If something is binding up this motor, the unit shuts off, and that's what was happening. So here's what I did next. I turned over the lawnmower just like that. And do this at your own risk. Make sure the batteries aren't in it. When you do this, I'm taking the risk. I have the batteries in it. And what I did was I went ahead and turned this. It was really hard to turn at first. After doing a few turns, it loosened up. What that tells me is 2 things. This owner of this unit is not cleaning his lawnmower as much as he should. It may have developed rust or it developed a dead spot. I can't tell which. All I know is now that I've gone ahead and loosened it up, it's turning. We'll check the other one here, and look at that. Look how free this one's going. This is the one that was working. Not even any power. I can easily do that. So make sure to keep your blades sharp, and make sure to clean underneath your electric lawnmower. Just because it's electric doesn't mean it doesn't need any maintenance. Now that I've done that, now the unit is working. And we know it's working because we can go ahead and force the on position by doing this again, going right here and going there, and notice that it won't shut off in 3 seconds or less. It'll just stay on. Now as you notice, the hum went from high pitch to low pitch. That is normal for these lawnmowers. There's a system to save power that says, hey, we're not working hard. Let's lower the power or speed of those blades. I'm gonna guess that that's the issue. It's really dirty in the bottom and that those blades were stiff and stuck, and hopefully it's not a dead spot on the motor. And I'm gonna test that by turning it on and off here for the next 10 minutes or so, just on and off, and see if it lands in a spot where it won't turn back on. But I highly doubt it. I think it was just grass binding it up. I'm gonna go ahead and call it good. I've been testing it here for quite some time. Motors keep spinning, everything looks like it's working right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just put the cover on. It's a little tricky to put the hood back on, or this light green plastic back on. It's better to do it from this angle. Grab here, make sure you line up those two T20 screw holes right there. And as you go putting it together, make sure that you're lining up with that one right there and that one right there. And make sure you line up where the wheels come out. And then you'll have to push here pretty hard for it to snap in. That's what I had to do. This guy will give you some trouble too. If it's gonna give you a lot of trouble, you can remove this right here so that it'll easily come out. See, it's spring loaded to go that way. And as you try to put this hood on, it'll get in the way. So you'll need to reach underneath and move it, or you can remove this and do it that way. I didn't remove it. I felt it was easier that way. And now it's just about putting the screws back on. Next is this handle. I'm gonna push that guy in.
Oh,
just like that.
Yeah.
And make sure that that hole right here lines up. Make sure you put some type of tissue paper or something right there, so if your screw falls down, it doesn't fall into the inside of the lawnmower. Now, as we go ahead and test this for the final time, I hope that this video helps somebody out there with the same issue. That's what my channel's all about. If you're watching this, thank you very much. You stayed till the end, and you get to hear the interesting situation that happened with this lawnmower. When I called the customer to tell them that it was ready to pick up and how much the repair was going to be, they told me that I could just go ahead and keep it. Now hold on, don't come to any conclusions. They weren't angry or upset. They said they wanted to invest in a brand new lawnmower, and even though the cost of the repair would be much less than a brand new lawnmower, they just wanted to go that way. My guess is that they went ahead and invested in a whole new battery platform for all of their gadgets, and that the new lawnmower would fit that battery platform. My question is this: are you seeing that out there quite a bit? Because if you are, I really have to wonder the impact of the environment that everybody's so worried about with these electric lawnmowers. You see, gasoline lawnmowers, most people get them repaired. So are people just throwing them away and buying a new one with the electric ones when they act up because they're so used to doing that with electronics?